The Great Bible, 2 Kings, the 5th chapter. Naaman the Syrian is healed of his leprosy. Gehazi is stricken with a leprosy because he took money and raiment of Naaman. The 5th chapter. Naaman, captain of the host of the king of Syria, was a great man, and honorable in the sight of his master, because that by him the Lord had given health unto Syria. He was also a mighty man, and expert in war, and he was a leper. And the Syrians had gone out by companies, and had brought out of the country of Israel a little maid, and she was with Naaman's wife. And she said unto her lady, I would to God my Lord were with the prophet that is in Samaria, for he would deliver him of his leprosy. And he went in and told his Lord, saying, Thus and thus said the maid that is of the land of Israel. And the king of Syria said, Come and enter in, and I will send a letter unto the king of Israel. And he came, and took with him 10 talents of silver, and 6,000 pieces of gold, and 10 change of raiments, and brought the letter to the king of Israel, containing this tenor. Now when this letter is come unto thee, behold, I have therewith sent Naaman my servant to thee, that thou mayest rid him of his leprosy. And it fortuned that when the king of Israel had read the letter, he rent his clothes and said, Am I God, that I should slay and make alive? For he doth send to me that I should deliver a man from his leprosy. Wherefore consider, I pray you, and see how he seeketh a quarrel against me, which when Elisha the man of God had heard, how that the king of Israel had rent his clothes, he sent to the king, saying, Wherefore hast thou rent thy clothes? Let him come now to thee, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel. And so Naaman came with his horses and with his chariots, and stood at the door of the house of Elisha. And Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, Go and wash thee in Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be cleansed. But Naaman was wroth, and went away, and said, Behold, I thought with myself, he would surely come out, and stand and call on the name of the Lord his God, and put his hand on the place, that he may heal the leprosy. Are not Abana and Pharpar, rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? If I wash me also in them, shall I not be cleansed? And so he turned him, and departed with displeasure. And his servants came, and communed with him, and said, Father, if the prophet had bid thee do some great thing, oughtest thou not to have done it? How much rather then, when he saith to thee, Wash and be clean? Then went he down, and washed himself 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of the man of God, and his flesh changed, like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was cleansed. And he turned again to the man of God, he and all his company, and stood before him, and said, Behold, I know now that there is no God in all the world, but in Israel. Now therefore, take a blessing of thy servant. But he said, As surely as the Lord liveth, before whom I stand, I will receive none. And when the other would have constrained him to receive it, he would not. And Naaman said, Even as thou wilt, but I beseech thee, shall there not be given to thy servant as much of this earth as 2 mules may bear? For thy servant will henceforth offer neither burnt sacrifice nor offering unto any other god, save unto the Lord. But herein the Lord be merciful to thy servant, that when my master goeth into the house of Rimmon, and doth worship there, and leaneth on my hand, and I also worship in the house of Rimmon, when I do worship, I say, in the house of Rimmon, the Lord be merciful unto thy servant because of this thing. Unto whom he said, Go in peace. And when he was departed from him, as it were a furlong of ground, Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, said, Behold, my master hath spared Naaman, this Syrian, that he would not receive of his hand those things that he offered. As surely as the Lord liveth, I will run after him, and take somewhat of him. And so Gehazi followed Naaman. And when Naaman saw him running after him, he lighted down from the chariot to meet him, and said, Is all well? He answered, All is well. Behold, my master hath sent me, saying, See, there be come to me even now from Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the children of the prophets. Give them, I pray thee, 1 talent of silver, and 2 changes of garments. And Naaman said, With a good will, take 2 talents. And he compelled him to bind 2 talents of silver in 2 bags, with 2 change of garments, and laid them upon 2 of his servants, to bear them before him. And when he came into a secret place, he took them from their hand, and bestowed it in the house, and the men were let go, and they departed. But he went in, and stood before his master. And Elisha said unto him, Whence comest thou, Gehazi? He said, Thy servant went no whither. But he said unto him, Went not mine heart with thee, when the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee? Is it now a time to receive money, to receive garments, olive trees, vineyards, sheep and oxen, men servants and maid servants? The leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee, and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence a leper, as white as snow. The 6th chapter. Eliseus maketh iron to swim above the water. The Syrians besiege Israel, so that 2 women agree together to eat their own children. The 6th chapter. The children of the prophets said unto Elisha, Behold, the place where we dwell with thee is too little for us. We will therefore go unto Jordan, and take thence every man a beam, and build us a place to dwell in. And he answered, Go. And one said, Be content, I pray thee, and come with thy servants. And he answered, I will come. And so he went with them. And when they came to Jordan, they cut down wood. But it fortuned that as one was felling down of a tree, the axe head fell into the water. And he cried and said, Alas, master, it was lent me. And the man of God said, Where fell it? And he showed him the place. And he cut down a stick, and cast it in thither, and immediately the iron did swim. Therefore said he, Take it up. And he stretched out his hand, and took it up. But the king of Syria warred against Israel, and took counsel with his servants, and said, In yonder secret place shall be my remaining. And the man of God sent unto the king of Israel, saying, Beware that thou go not over to such a place, for there the Syrians are lurking. Therefore the king of Israel sent to the place which the man of God told him, and warned him of, and saved himself from it, not once nor twice. And the heart of the king of Syria was troubled for this thing. And he called for his servants, and said unto them, Will ye not show me, which of our men betrayeth me to the king of Israel? And one of his servants said, None, my lord, O king. But Elisha the prophet, that is in Israel, telleth the king of Israel, yea, even the words that thou speakest in thy privy chamber. He said, Go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And one told him, saying, Behold, he is in Dotam. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots, and a mighty host. And they came by night, and compassed the city about. And when the servant of the man of God rose up early to go out, behold, there was an host round about the town with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Alas, master, what shall we do? He answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I beseech thee, open his eyes, that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Lord, and said, Smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness, according to the desire of Elisha. And Elisha said unto them, This is not the way, neither is this the town. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom ye seek. But he led them to Samaria. And it fortuned that when they were come to Samaria, Elisha said, Lord, open their eyes, that they may see. And the Lord opened their eyes, and they saw. And behold, they were in the midst of Samaria. And the king of Israel said unto Elisha, when he saw them, My father, shall I smite them? And he answered, Thou shalt not smite them, but smite those that thou hast taken with thine own sword, and with thine own bow, but rather set bread and water before them, that they may eat and drink, and go to their master. And he prepared a great refection for them. And when they had eaten and drunk, he sent them away, and they went to their master. And so the soldiers of Syria came no more into the land of Israel. After this it chanced that Benhadad, king of Syria, gathered all his host, and went up, and besieged Samaria. But there was a great dearth in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it, until an ass's head was sold for 80 silver pence, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 sickles. And as the king of Israel was going upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help, my lord, O king. He said, If the Lord do not succor thee, wherewith can I help thee? With the barn, or with the winepress? And the king said unto her, What wilt thou? She answered, Yonder woman said unto me, Bring thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat mine tomorrow. And so we dressed my son, and did eat him. And I said to her the other day, Bring thy son, that we may eat him. And she hath hid her son. And it came to pass, that when the king heard the words of the woman, he rent his clothes, and went up on the wall. And the people looked, and behold, he had a sackcloth upon his flesh. Then he said, God do so and so to me, if the head of Elisha the son of Shaphat shall stand on him this day. But Elisha sat in his house, and the elders sat by him, and the king sent a man before him. But ere the messenger came to him, he said to the elders, Have ye not seen how that the son of this murderer hath sent to take away mine head? Be circumspect when the messenger cometh, and shut the door, and hold him at the door. Is not the sound of his master's feet behind him? While he yet talked with them, behold, the messenger came down unto him, and said, Behold, this evil is of the Lord, and what more shall I look for of the Lord? The 7th chapter. Elisha prophesieth plenteousness of victuals and other things to Samaria. The Syrians run away, and have no man following them. The Lord that would not believe the word of Elisha is trodden to death. The 7th chapter. Then Elisha said, Hear ye the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord, Tomorrow this time shall a bushel of fine flour be sold for a sickle, and 2 bushels of barley for a sickle in the gate of Samaria. Then a certain lord, on whose hand the king leaned, answered the man of God, and said, Behold, if the Lord would make windows in heaven, might this saying come to pass? He said, Behold, thou shalt see it with thine eyes, but shalt not eat thereof. And there were 4 leprous men at the entering in of the gate. And they said one to another, Why sit we here until we die? If we say, We will enter into the city, behold, the dearth is in the city, and we shall die therein. And if we sit still here, we die also. Now therefore come, and let us fall upon the host of the Syrians. If they save our lives, we shall live. If they kill us, then are we dead. And so they arose in the night, to go to the host of the Syrians. And when they were come to the utmost part of the host of Syria, behold, there was no man there. For the Lord had made the host of the Syrians to hear a noise of chariots, and a noise of horses, and the noise of a great host, insomuch that they said one to another, Lo, the king of Israel hath hired against us the kings of the Hittites, and the kings of the Egyptians, to come upon us. Wherefore they arose and fled in the night, and left their tents, their horses, and their asses, and the field which they had pitched even as it was, and fled for their lives. And when these lepers came to the edge of the host, they went into a tent, and did eat, and drink, and carried thence silver, and gold, and raiment, and went and hid it, came again, and entered into another tent, and carried thence also, and went and hid it. Then said one to another, We do not well this day, forasmuch as it is a day to bring good tidings, and we hold our peace. If we tarry till the daylight, some mischief will come upon us. Now therefore come, that we may go, and tell the king's household. And so they came, and called unto the porter of the city, and told them, saying, We came to the pavilions of the Syrians, and see, there was no man there, neither voice of man, but horses and asses tied, and the tents were, even as they were wont to be. And so the man called unto the porters, and they told the king's house within. And the king arose in the night, and said unto his servants, I will show you now what the Syrians have done unto us. They know that we be hungry, and therefore are they gone out of the pavilions, to hide themselves in the field, saying, When they come out of the city, we shall catch them alive, and get into the city. And one of his servants answered and said, Let men take, I pray you, 5 of the horses that remain, and are left in the multitude. Behold, they are even as all the multitude of Israel that are left in the city. Behold, I say, they are even as all the multitude of the Israelites that are consumed, and we will send and see. They took therefore the horses of 2 chariots, and the king sent after the host of the Syrians, saying, Go and see. And they went after them, even unto Jordan. And lo, all the way was full of clothes and vessels, which the Syrians had cast from them in their haste. And the messengers returned, and told the king. And the people went out, and spoiled the tents of the Syrians. And so it came to pass, that a bushel of fine flour was sold for a sickle, and 2 bushels of barley for a sickle, according to the word of the Lord. And the king appointed the Lord, on whose hand he leaned, to be at the gate. And the people trod upon him in the gate, and he died, according to the word of the man of God, which he said, when the king came down to him. And so came the thing to pass, that the man of God had spoken to the king, saying, 2 bushels of barley for a sickle, and a bushel of fine flour for another, shall be tomorrow this time in the gate of Samaria. Whereunto that Lord answered the man of God, and said, Yea, and if the Lord made windows in heaven, might it come to pass? And he said, Behold, thou shalt see it with thine eyes, and shalt not eat thereof. And even so chanced it unto him, for the people trod upon him in the gate, and he died. The 8th chapter. Elisha prophesieth unto the Shunammite the dearth of 7 years. After the death of Benhadad reigneth Hazael in Syria. Jehoram the son of Jehoshaphat reigneth in Judah. Edom falleth from Judah. Ohoziah succeedeth Jehoram. The 8th chapter. Then spake Elisha unto the woman, whose son he had restored to life again, saying, Up and go, thou and thine house, and sojourn wheresoever thou canst, for the Lord hath called for a dearth, and the same shall come upon the land 7 years. And the woman arose, and did after the saying of the man of God, and went, both she and her household, and sojourned in the land of the Philistines 7 years. And at the 7 years' end it fortuned, that the woman came again out of the land of the Philistines, and went out to call upon the king for her house and for her land. And the king talked with Gehazi, the servant of the man of God, saying, Tell me, I pray thee, all the great deeds that Elisha hath done. He told the king how he had restored a dead body to life again, but in the meantime the woman whose son he had raised up again cried to the king for her house and for her land. And Gehazi said, My lord, O king, this is the woman, and this is her son, whom Elisha raised up again. And when the king asked the woman, she told him. And so the king delivered her a chamberlain, saying, Restore thou unto her all that are hers, and all the fruits of the field, since the day that she left the land unto this time. And Elisha came to Damascus, and Benhadad the king of Syria was sick. And one told him, saying, The man of God is come hither. And the king said unto Hazael, Take a present in thine hand, and go meet the man of God, that thou mayest ask the Lord by him, whether I shall recover of this disease. And so Hazael went to meet him, and took the present with him, and of every good thing of Damascus, even as much as 40 camels could bear, and came and presented himself before him, and said, Thy son Benhadad, king of Syria, hath sent me to thee, saying, Shall I recover of this disease? And Elisha said unto him, Go, and say unto him, Thou shalt recover. Howbeit the Lord hath showed me that he shall surely die. And he looked aside, and was ashamed. And the man of God wept. And Hazael said, Why weepeth my Lord? He answered, For I know the evil things that thou shalt do unto the children of Israel. For their strong cities shalt thou set on fire, and their young men shalt thou slay with a sword, and shalt dash out the brains of their sucking children, and all to tear their woman with child. But Hazael said, What is thy servant, a dog, that I should do this great thing? And Elisha answered, The Lord hath showed me that thou shalt be king of Syria. And so he departed from Elisha, and came to his master, which said to him, What said Elisha to thee? He answered, He told me that thou shouldest recover. And on the morrow it fortuned that he took a thick cloth, and dipped it in water, and spread it on his face, and he died, and Hazael reigned in his stead. The 5th year of Jehoram the son of Ahab, king of Israel, Jehoshaphat being also king of Judah, Jehoram the son of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, began to reign. 32 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 8 years in Jerusalem. And he walked in the ways of the kings of Israel, as they that were of the house of Ahab. For the daughter of Ahab was his wife, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord. And the Lord would not destroy Judah, and that because of David his servant, as he promised him to give him always a light among his children. In those days Edom did wickedly when he was under the hand of Judah, for they made them a king of their own. So Jehoram went to Zair, he and all his chariots with him. And he rose by night, and smote the Edomites, which compassed him in, with the captains of his chariots, and the people fled into their tents. But Edom rebelled, so that he would not be under the hand of Judah unto this day. And then Lobnah began to be disobedient even that same time. The rest of the words that concern Joram and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And Joram rested with his fathers, and was buried beside his fathers in the city of David. And Ahaziah his son reigned in his stead. In the 12th year of Joram the son of Ahab, king of Israel, did Ahaziah the son of Jehoram, king of Judah, begin to reign. 22 years old was Ahaziah when he began to reign, and he reigned 1 year in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Athaliah, the daughter of Omri, king of Israel. But he walked in the way of the house of Ahab, and did evil in the sight of the Lord, even as did the house of Ahab, for he was the son-in-law of the house of Ahab. And he went with Joram the son of Ahab to war against Hazael, king of Syria, in Ramoth Gilead. And the Syrians wounded Joram. And King Joram went back again to be healed in Jezreel of the wounds which the Syrians had given him at Ramoth, when he fought against Hazael, king of Syria. And Ahaziah the son of Jehoram, king of Judah, went down to see Joram the son of Ahab in Jezreel, because he was sick there.